Thanks to the SUV boom, you can now find a utility vehicle for every purse and purpose. There are very small SUVs for shoppers on a budget. There are very big SUVs for people without any budget at all, and a gazillion other SUVs between those two extremes. But there is one SUV segment with surprisingly few choices. If you want a mid-size two-row SUV, your options are limited. There's the Jeep Grand Cherokee, Ford Edge, Nissan Murano, Toyota 4Runner, and, well, that's pretty much it. But that mid-size SUV field is about to expand by one thanks to this, the all-new 2019 Honda Passport. Before we talk about the new Passport, we should probably discuss the old one. Introduced in 1993, the first generation Passport was actually the first Honda SUV ever sold in the United States. Well, technically it was an Isuzu SUV with a Honda badge, but let's not get bogged down with who built what. Despite a 26-year age gap, this new Passport actually has some things in common with its grandpa. Like the original Passport, this is a mid-size SUV with 2 rows of seating. It's also powered by a V6 engine, and it's built right here in the good old US of A. But that's where the similarities stop. This new Passport is based on Honda's own Pilot rather than Isuzu's Rodeo, so it has a modern unibody construction instead of a truck-derived body-on-frame chassis. And that switch is something buyers will really appreciate. With its car-like underpinnings, the Passport drives more like a tall station wagon than a traditional SUV. The ride is comfortable without the kind of jiggling you can get from body-on-frame SUVs. The steering is sharp and direct, and I'm not in fear of flipping over every time I go around a corner. With those kind of on-road manners, you'd figure that the Passport would be useless off-road, but it isn't. One reason for that is the Passport's all-wheel drive system. It's the same torque vectoring setup you'll find in the Pilot, and that torque vectoring bit is important because it means the system can split power between the wheels with the most grip, so you can keep on going even in slippery conditions. Another key to the Passport's off-road ability is back here, or rather not back here. The Passport is essentially a Pilot with 6 inches cut off from its rear end, so it has a shorter rear overhang, which translates to a greater departure angle. In a nutshell, you'll be able to drive your Passport over bigger objects without worrying about tearing the rear bumper off. Honda has also raised the Passport suspension by about 1 inch compared to the Pilot. That not only improves ground clearance, but also the vehicle's breakover angle, so it can do things like this. Of course, most Passports will be used to commute to work or get the kids to soccer practice on time, so Honda's baked in some practicality and some nice convenience features. In the front, you'll find plenty of storage space. There's a spot for wirelessly charging your phone, a spacious center console, and then a solid lid that you can stack even more stuff on. There's also ample room for people in the Passport's front seats. There's plenty of legroom, and I have enough headroom to grow a mohawk. And this is also available with heated and ventilated seats, ensuring I stay comfortable no matter the climate. The second row bench in the Pilot is just as generous in terms of leg and headroom. And unlike a lot of SUVs, this rear bench is wide enough to actually fit 3 people. There's also a couple of USB ports for keeping your electronics charged up, heated outboard seats, and plenty of cup holders for your favorite fizzy drinks. And without a third row to get in the way, the Passport has a large cargo area that's big enough for golf bats or tennis clubs or whatever sporty people use SUVs for. On the styling front, the Passport is a near carbon copy of the Pilot. The Passport does have a little bit different grille and lower bumper, but otherwise they're a really close match. The rear is close too, but Honda at least reshaped the taillights and added this full width bar to the tailgate. The Passport also lifts most of its tech from the Pilot. Every model comes standard with a touchscreen infotainment system that can run Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and high-end trims also get a digital dash. The Honda Sensing Safety Suite is standard across all Passport models and includes things like adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. All Passport models are powered by a 3.5-liter V6 with 280 horsepower. The only transmission on offer is a 9-speed automatic. Combined fuel economy for all-wheel drive models is 21 miles per gallon, which is about average for the class. Pricing is also what you'd expect for the segment. The entry-level Sport model costs just under $32,000, and a fully loaded Elite model like this one here will cost you just under $44,000. So there it is, the all-new 2019 Honda Passport, a brand new SUV that's a throwback to Honda's past. Even though this is essentially just a Pilot without a third row, I think it's a smart move on Honda's part. There are a lot of small families or empty nesters that don't necessarily need a third row, but want a vehicle that's a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer than a CR-V. And I think this Passport perfectly fits the bill.